Some of you don't really understand the reason behind President Trump's recent intervention in the Christian genocide happening in Nigeria. Many people saw the headline, but very few know the deeper reason why the United States and the world are finally stepping in. Let's start from the beginning. Over the last decade, America has been Nigeria's biggest international security partner. Washington has supplied drones, bomb kits, fighter jet upgrades, and intelligence worth billions of dollars. The idea was simple: help Nigeria defeat Boko Haram and its offshoot, ISWAP. Just this year, the US approved another $346 million arms package for Nigeria. Precision bombs, missiles, and targeting systems meant to strengthen the Air Force. Before that, there was the sale of 12 Super Tucano aircraft worth $500 million delivered under the Trump administration. Add that to years of counterterrorism training, logistics support, and humanitarian funding. On paper, Nigeria should by now have one of the most battle-ready armies in Africa. But what's the result? The killings continue. Entire villages still get wiped out in Plateau, Benue, Kaduna, and Borno. Churches are attacked almost every week. Children are abducted from schools. Farmers can't go to their fields. Soldiers keep dying in ambushes, sometimes because they run out of ammunition. So America is asking the same question many Nigerians have been asking quietly for years. Where is all the money going? Because the United States tracks every dollar it spends. It knows when weapons are delivered, when training is done, and when things don't add up. Intelligence reports show that despite billions invested, Nigeria's security forces remain under-equipped, under-motivated, and deeply compromised. And that's the root of America's frustration. Trump's declaration that Nigeria is a country of particular concern was not only about religion, it was about credibility. Washington is tired of funding what looks like an endless war with no genuine intention to win. When a country keeps receiving military support but still allows terrorists to thrive, it raises suspicion. When attacks follow the same pattern, Christians targeted in their villages, priests kidnapped, worshippers slaughtered in churches, and there's still no serious response, the world begins to wonder whether the violence is being quietly tolerated. That's why Trump's words hit so hard. They are killing record numbers of Christians in Nigeria, and I will not allow that to continue. Those weren't diplomatic words. They were words of anger, frustration from a government that's been watching Nigeria repeat the same cycle for over a decade. And now, America isn't alone. The Canadian Parliament has discussed the killings. British lawmakers have questioned why Nigeria still receives military aid. The European Union has called for independent investigations into attacks that Nigerian authorities call herder-farmer clashes. But let's be honest, how many times can something happen before we stop calling it coincidence? When the victims are repeatedly Christian villages, burned churches, murdered priests, the pattern speaks for itself. The tragedy here is that Nigeria's leaders still act as though these warnings are insults instead of wake-up calls. The official response to every global concern is always the same. They don't understand our security complexities, but the world understands enough to see the truth. The same corruption that destroyed the economy has infected the military. Procurement scandals, ghost soldiers, stolen allowances, even reports of weapons meant for the front lines ending up in the hands of terrorists. That's why the war never ends, because every bullet fired is another contract renewed. Every attack becomes another excuse to demand funding. The war has become an industry, and peace would ruin business. So when America sends weapons worth hundreds of millions and still sees villages burning, The anger is justified. No country, no matter how wealthy, wants to fund failure. And this is where it becomes expository. The US strategy now is shifting. The new aid packages come with strict monitoring clauses, human rights tracking, field audits, and transparent reporting. Washington wants to see evidence that the weapons are used for the right purpose, not for politics or profit. At the same time, discussions are happening in Congress about targeted sanctions, not against Nigeria as a nation, but against individuals, governors, generals, and politicians accused of either enabling the violence or stealing from defense budgets. If that list is activated, travel bans, asset freezes, and visa restrictions could follow. The message is clear. America is no longer willing to bankroll corruption. And that brings us back to the Christian genocide conversation. For years, survivors have been crying out, saying, "They're killing us and the world is silent." Now the world is speaking, and Abuja isn't happy about it. But why would they be? When you've built a system on impunity, accountability feels like an attack. Let's not forget what happened in 2021 when the US first considered putting Nigeria on the country of particular concern list. The Nigerian government lobbied hard to be removed. They promised reforms, new security strategies, new appointments, yet here we are. The killings not only continue, they've spread. So what exactly does the US want? It wants transparency. It wants Nigeria to prove that it's genuinely fighting terrorism, not managing it. It wants accountability for the billions already sent. It wants an end to the excuses that always begin with "we condemn" and end with "we're investigating." And let's be fair, America's concern isn't purely moral, it's strategic. An unstable Nigeria threatens the entire region. The Sahel is already on fire. Mali, Niger, Chad, and extremist networks are growing. If Nigeria falls deeper into chaos, the whole of West Africa becomes vulnerable. That's why Washington is acting tough. Not because it suddenly discovered compassion, but because instability in Nigeria eventually becomes a global problem. But that doesn't change the moral truth. Thousands of Nigerians, mostly innocent civilians, have been killed while those in power debate semantics. Whether it's called terrorism, genocide, or banditry, the result is the same. Human lives lost, families destroyed, a nation bleeding. So yes, the world is fed up, not with Nigeria as a people, but with a government that refuses to protect them. And that's where my opinion comes in. Nigeria's problem is not that it lacks help, it's that it lacks honesty. For every foreign dollar sent, there's someone ready to steal half of it before it reaches the front lines. For every tragedy, there's a press release instead of action. And for every victim, there's an official somewhere insisting it's not as bad as it looks. The world has finally stopped believing those lies. Trump's declaration, Canada's debates, the EU's concern, these are not attacks on Nigeria's image. They are reactions to Nigeria's silence. Because silence in the face of mass murder is not neutrality, it's complicity. So where does this leave us? If Nigeria continues on this path, the consequences won't just be diplomatic. Sanctions could cripple international trade. Military partnerships could be suspended. And the elite who once flew freely around the world may suddenly find themselves grounded, both literally and politically. But there's another possibility, the one most Nigerians hope for, that this global attention forces change. That the government finally wakes up and realizes the world is no longer watching quietly. That the billions meant for defense finally go where they belong, to soldiers, to intelligence, to rebuilding the lives of those left behind. Because at the end of the day, America's anger is not the real story here. The real story is Nigeria's lost humanity, a nation so used to tragedy that it now debates whether a massacre is religious or political instead of asking why it happened at all. This is why the world is losing patience. If Nigeria doesn't change course soon, the pressure from abroad will only intensify. Sanctions will follow, investigations will deepen, and foreign aid will come with stricter conditions. But it shouldn't take foreign threats to make our leaders act. It should take conscience. It should take shame. It should take love for a nation that has already bled enough. The world has done its part. The question now is, will Nigeria finally do hers?
If my government is denying genocide, what will they say about this? United Nations, European Union, take note. This is the genocide of people that were killed on the fateful day of 7 March 2010. Massacre at Dogona Hawa Plateau State. Names of victims that were killed. Machineries were brought from Niger Republic. They were brought from Chad. They were brought from Burkina Faso, Senegal. They were hired into the nation. They mix up with those from Maiduguri. That's a Muslim state. Also from Gombe, Muslim state. In fact, they trooped into this place, Bauchi. This is the route that they took. By about midnight, they invaded this village. We are living peacefully in this Dogona Hawa. These are the victims of massacre. Davo Bitrus, Chuan Bitrus, John Nash Ren, Ngoisa Danjuma, all they are under the grave. Karos Nash, Lydia E. Danjuma. See the name. 100 is moving to 66. Ended by Israel Simon, Lydia Bulus Chuang, Da Labi Dung. And look at this place too. Dadung, Dagongdung, Justina Gang, Sani, Pam, Victor Pam. To summarize, to go down to 126. Run top with Ungo Titi Guam. We move also to 127. Dan Juma Guam. Victoria Zang. Test Crooks. You have been looking for facts. Look at facts. To prove Nigeria government are biggest liar. If they taught them, they will say Muslims are also killed. By who? By Muslim terrorists. After they have eliminated Christian from Katsina, from Zamfara, from Borno, what next? Then the Christian that escaped from the far north, Sokoto, they were able to locate and come back to Plateau State. Because, and they moved down to the south. They escaped their life. Now, the rural villages of Sokoto, Muslim state, Katsina, Muslim state, if you find a Christian, is in the town, the city, headquarters of the state. That's where there's security. But in the villages, Boko Haram have taken over the villages. Once you're a Christian, you can only be a Christian by serving them as slaves in the local government. Look at what has happened to 189. Look at this monument. It's a memory for what is happening. Chuan S. Dung Gang boat moving down to 252 people. Joseph Johanna. Now let's go back to see the other side of the monument. It continues from 250. Zongdungzi, Chuandi, Jik, Da Gyang Pam Tang, Kumbo Gyang Tang. It moved down to 315. That is Nerat Jong. We move again to 316. Peace John, Ezekiel Pam. It moved down again to 378. That's Paula Joseph Nyam.
Sure.
It shift again from the top. Da Dungyang, Wen Davo. It moved down to 401 and 41. Da Gom Elia was among them this. Mandung Christopher, that's 402. Garba Danjuma, he moved down to round up to 501. Apart from this list that are here, there are many. Only vultures that were dragged into those rocks. Women were dragged for raping that day. Come and see what happened. Look at the monument. Now can we say there was no genocide in those places? Children are there. There are two accounts of record. The one that I have here, you can see their lists and their ranks in wherever they are. Children were battered. Children, they are among those names. And I have it here, compiled by my father, Reverend Danyam Dung, my brother. We have seen here the name of children and adults. Look at it. Ungola Rababulus, adult. Sandra Bitrus, child. Gabriel Bitrus, child. Ngo Yisa Danjuma, adult. Ngo Laraba Danjuma, adult. Timothy Ezekiel Danjuma, child. Lydia, child. Obadiah, child. And somebody will come out and say there was no genocide. This God that we serve, under this Muslim ticket, any Christian that will vote Muslim ticket, may God forgive him. May God show him mercy. He has received his number, 66. I cancel my faith to Muslim ticket. Nigeria is for all of us. Nigeria is for both Muslim and Christian. Nigeria have been working on Muslim and Christian, Christian and Muslim. Why now? That is marginalization. That is genocide. In the world of the politics, the Islamic people have genocide us by killing the Christian, becoming a second man in Asoro. And the so-called Christian don't know what is happening. And those kind that came out and said there's no the grave, the death of these people is screaming in heaven. 501 people are here. 501. They are right inside it. 501. Please, and when the Senate are coming, show them this. My Senate are coming to meet their colleagues. Senate, Ted Cruz, take this and present it to them. Is it not genocide? 501 people. And they were able to stand for Hamas and say Israel is committing genocide. What is genocide? It's in us. Look at the names that are here. There. They are right here in the grave. Dogo Nahawa. By the power of Jesus, we are coming back for real documentary. And we have done it, and we continue to show the world since Remo Amokri has invited to fact banding. Do you bring the American people to this place for fact finding? Did you bring them to this genocide ground? Remo Amokri, why didn't you bring them to Plateau to come and see this place? Are they not people? All are Christians. And you come out and tell me that there's also genocide. That even Muslims have been to shower down, to wash down that Christians have been killed. Muslims are also killed. By who? Is it we Christians that were killing the Muslims? No. That's not our portion in faith. We love the Muslims. We care for them. And we are ever ready to help them. But yet, they are bent to grab our lands. They are bent to take over our villages. They are bent to take over the state of Plateau State, Benue. They are bent to take over. They have taken over Nasarawa State. And they are bent to take this place. We will fight to finish it. We will defend our land to death. As Adesina said, why shall he want us to lose our life and land? It's better for us to lose our land so that we should remain. Adesina, you have never come across. The power of the cross will crush you. During Buhari, you were defending Islam. No problem. We will maintain our land. They removed Christopher because he was trying to bring justice. And the justice was crushing the terrorists, the people insurgent that were brought from outside the nation. And they start shouting, oh, they are killing Muslims. Anakashe Muslimi, Anakashe Muslimi. Walabwa, Tinibu, Kachire, Christopher Zegamada, Damu. You thought we don't know? They cripple him. He want to act. They will say it's a genocide. Ribado is there as the advisor. Very wicked advisor. An evil advisor. He could not give advice to protect our land. But he's displaying religion agenda. God will fight for us when the time has come. And all Christians are I urge you all over the world. If you don't pray for Christians in Nigeria, be ready to face the judgment. This is what is happening. We are all living under fear caused by some people. May God be with us. In Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you.
The UK government has frozen all the assets of Mountain of Fire and Miracle Ministries, MFM, one of the biggest churches in the world. According to the UK's Charity Commission, MFM has over 90 branches in the UK, but somehow they were running over 100 separate bank accounts. And the shocking part is that those accounts were being run independently by local branches without any form of oversight. That means that different branches could open bank accounts and buy properties without authorization. This made it impossible to track where the money was going or how it was being used. thereby making it easy for fraud to happen. To prevent more damage, the government stepped in, freezing all of MFM's UK assets and launching a deeper investigation into how the money was managed. Surprisingly, MFM is not the only big Nigerian church in hot water. Similar action is also taken against Christ Embassy, the UK branch of Pastor Chris Oyakhilom's church, over financial accountability issues. Now, MFM is facing serious questions about how millions in donations were handled. But one thing is clear, even the most powerful ministries are not above the law.